Monkey.
I'm not going to kill myself in this training camp.
You're laughing, Connor. Why'd you laughing?
It's just funny.
Usually I go 8 weeks without sex. I abstain for 8 weeks. You know, week by week, the longer you withhold, you know, you build testosterone.
How has it come to this? And what are you talking about?
I'm going to abstain for 2 weeks for you.
I don't really care. No one asks you about your sex drive and what gets you going.
Canelo, Golovkin, they get 8 weeks. Saunders.
This is just mind games, isn't
No,
it? Really?
no, this is
You
the
don't
truth.
really talking rubbish.
You don't really believe.
Saunders gets 4 weeks.
Connor gets
Conor
2.
Ben gets 2.
Well, clearly.
Jake Paul will get 1 week. So you're not at the bottom of the barrel, but you're close.
Now, I would be lying if I said that Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't growing on me. I find him hilarious. This guy's got a good sense of humor. You know, he's just generally funny. Now, this started off with the press conference, actually. You know, when I first seen the press conference, hearing Eubank Jr. saying, I only need to be 60%, you know, I found it very hilarious. He was getting under the skin of Conor Ben. And now, when you look at the face-off, he was saying that it would require an act of God, a miracle, for Conor Ben to be able to beat Chris Eubank Jr. Now, I do agree that it will be very difficult for Conor Ben to have, you know, really any success in this fight for a sustained period of time. But is Chris Eubank Jr. underestimating Conor Ben? You know, he said in that face-to-face, and we don't know when it was filmed. It was probably filmed a week ago, several weeks ago, but he said that he starts his training camp after that face-to-face that he had with Conor Ben. You know, from my knowledge, Conor Ben has been training for a while, you know. He was training, you know, well before the face-off, while Chris Eubank Jr., you know, up until the face-off, he said he's starting his camp after the face-off. You know, he also said that Chris Eubank Jr. also mentioned about abstaining from intimacy for about 2 weeks because it's just little old Conor Ben, a 147-pounder, and that if it was Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez, he would abstain for about 8 weeks. And that if it was Jake Paul, he would abstain for just 1 week. You know, Chris Eubank Jr. mentioned how Conor Ben wasn't at the bottom of the barrel, but he was close. I mean, absolutely hilarious from Eubank Jr. And you could see Conor Ben was frustrated, wasn't he? He was saying, oh, why are you talking about this, Eubank? I have no interest. No one needs to know about this, and so on and so forth. And Eubank Jr. was trying to emphasize how easy he believes this Conor Ben fight will be. You know, with not having his normal trainer in his corner, he'll have his dad there. He prefers to have his dad there just for this fight because it's a very unique fight. You know, not starting training camp nice and early, you know, mentioning that he's only going to be 60%. Conor Ben is thinking that Eubank Jr. is trying to come up with excuses. It seems that Conor Ben thinks that Eubank Jr. is underestimating him, and he believes that Eubank Jr. shouldn't be underestimating him. He shouldn't. He is right in that aspect because this is a combat sport. You could get really hurt in this business, in this game. You know, it ain't no game, as they say. Boxing is a serious sport. So you need to take your opponent seriously. It doesn't matter if he's moving up in several weight classes. You need to focus and be as sharp as you can possibly be. So come fight night, you minimize the mistakes. You're energetic, you're fit, you're strong, you're powerful, and you're mentally sharp. But yeah, it seems like Eubank Jr. isn't too bothered by Conor Ben. You know, at the end of the day, in terms of getting under a person's skin, it doesn't really matter. Because, you know, Amir Khan was able to get under Kell Brook's skin in the face-off that we saw. But obviously Kell Brook was able to stop Amir Khan. So at the end of the day, these are just, you know, antics. It's not really that important in terms of trolling and trying to get under your opponent's skin. You know, that's not going to make a difference come fight night. Unless Conor Ben were to get super duper emotional and, you know, come at Eubank Jr. like a headless chicken. Yeah, that would be really bad for Conor Ben. He needs to be composed. But, you know, this is a guy who's been fighting at a good level for many years now. You know, he hasn't fought anyone like Eubank Jr., But he's been fighting professionally for a while, so he knows that, you know, I can't go out there like a headless chicken. I've got to keep my composure and apply pressure effectively and methodically to Eubank Jr. and try to get to him and try to break him down. So did you guys find the face-off, you know, between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn hilarious? You know, how can you not? I mean, not everyone is the same, but Eubank Jr., man, he's absolutely taking the piss, is he? I said in my last video that Eubank Jr. is one of the most laid-back guys. He's one of those guys who you seem like he just genuinely doesn't care about life, and he doesn't have that level of seriousness that you expect from a person. That's Eubank Jr. in this, you know, fight. He seems extremely relaxed, almost too relaxed, you know, which may act as a hindrance to him in the fight. Can 60% of Eubank Jr. really beat Conor Benn? But maybe it's all smoke and mirrors. Maybe Eubank Jr. is, you know, he's fronting, as they say. Maybe he is training super duper hard and he's just trying to lead Conor Benn on. Make Conor Benn think that, alright, Eubank Jr. is not going to be sharp. He's not training hard. He's not taking me seriously. You know, and come fight night, he'll be shocked by how sharp I am. How fit I am. You know, how powerful, how strong I am. How determined I am to win the fight. You know, because I fooled him. You know, I essentially pulled a publicity stunt. This could all be a publicity stunt from Eubank Jr. Leading the public on and leading Conor Benn and his team on to believe that, you know what, I'm taking him lightly. But in reality, I've been training extremely hard and I'm extremely motivated, extremely determined, you know, and really want to win this fight. But personally, I don't think it's a publicity stunt. I think Eubank Jr. is being genuine. And he does believe that 60% of his ability should be enough to beat Conor Benn. I also found it interesting that apparently Conor Benn's team wanted, this is according to Eubank Jr., you know, fighters say stuff and we never know if it's true or if it's not. But apparently that they wanted this fight to happen at 153 pounds initially. And Eubank Jr. was like, are you crazy? You know, how am I be able to make 153 pounds? You know, Eubank Jr. will struggle to make 157 pounds. So imagine him at 153. Alright guys, those are just my quick thoughts on the face-off between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Apologies for my, you know, waffling, for my inability to construct sentences. It's just so funny, you know. It's very difficult to make this video in all seriousness, you know, trying to think about, you know, what Eubank Jr. was talking about in the how he only needs to be 60% to beat Conor Benn. How he's going to abstain from intimacy just for 2 weeks because it's just little old Conor Benn. So yeah, very, very difficult to make this video whilst being composed. But yeah, who do you think will win the fight? I, you know, give the edge to Eubank Jr. But he's got to come up, you know, sharp. You know, he can't be all, oh, I'm starting training camp late. No, I only need to be 60%. When he's in the ring, he needs to believe that, you know, I need to give it my all. Because if you're saying that you only need 60% of your ability to beat Conor Benn, that means you're going to lose a lot of your skill set or not implement a lot of your skill set in the fight. For instance, if you're a fighter who likes to throw combinations at your brilliant best, someone like, I don't know, a Manny Pacquiao, you know, he likes to throw punches and bunches. That's equivalent to Manny Pacquiao just using 1 or 2 punches to beat his opponent. You know, that's drastically going to reduce his effectiveness because this is a fighter who likes to throw several punches. Not 1 or 2 punches, several punches. So what? Is Eubank Jr. going to beat Conor Benn with the jab? Is he just going to jab and move around the ring and that be it? So who knows? Alright guys, those were just my quick thoughts. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Alright, peace.